What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NerdyMark channel. I am Sid the NerdyMark. This is my NerdyMark SuperShow once again. I actually had a few errands to run this week during AEW and NXT, which is why I'm bringing it to you here. But I thought I'd do it as a Super Show, and as you can see, it is kind of pre-recorded and whatnot. And you'll have to excuse me because I still haven't fixed the fan. That's going to be, I guess, a trope throughout my tenure on YouTube, I guess. And by the way, this microphone is just for show. It's not really working, technically, which kind of sucks. But hey, so today I thought we would do a Super Show. I didn't do my AEW and NXT review this week, as I mentioned, but I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to talk about some news. So let's get into the first topic of the news. Oh, would you look at that, huh? I got some new tricks up my sleeve with this new, setup. This gives me powers. Anyway, so first things first, I want to say that obviously this week on Monday Night Raw, Becky Lynch did announce that she was taking time out from the ring. She relinquished her Raw Women's Championship to the Money in the Bank winner, Asuka, which, the belt was in the briefcase and everything. Because she told Asuka, you go be a warrior because I'm going to go be a mother. And of course, this, obviously was a huge, great news for everybody and whatnot. So that was cool. So I just wanted to say congratulations to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. They seem to be expecting, Rollins did put it up on his Instagram, that they are expecting their child in December of this year, which is pretty awesome. But, it's kind of interesting that, they got that Becky's pregnant and she's going to be having a baby during this whole pandemic and all this kind of crazy times. But I know for this, but then again, I guess it allows Becky to stay home and, be safe and potentially not, be susceptible to the coronavirus and all that good stuff. By the way, you like my bottle? Anyway, well, it's actually from my sister's school. She doesn't use it, so I do. Anyway, so with that being said, I guess let's move on to... So I just want to say once again, so congratulations, Seth and Becky. I hope, I'm very, very excited for them both to welcome in their new son or daughter into this world. And what the hell? Why is this lighting so bad? Yeah, it's always bad in here, right? Anyway, but welcome them, their new child into their world, and who knows? Maybe it's twins. I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna make any quick quips or anything like that about it. Just saying that congratulations. That's all. That's really about it. So. That's all I got to say about that. Let's move on to our next piece of news. And that is, of course, that Sami Zayn refused to, work WWE shows because of this whole pandemic. And because of which we did have the tournament. We did have the Intercontinental title tournament. And, it was, obviously, it seems to be a work, too, because Sami Zayn has been repeatedly going on Twitter saying that this is a disgrace and that I am the true Intercontinental Champion, all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool. I mean, is it going to advance a storyline? I'm not really sure, but I hope it does. I think that would be really cool. But as you can see, let me put my glasses back on. As you can see that there are all the they're having a tournament to crown a new Intercontinental Champion. We did have Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak and Elias versus King Corbin yesterday on Smackdown, which Daniel Bryan won and Elias has won that. Next week we're getting Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus and AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, part of me is now I'm going to say this: when in 2018. When they announced, at WrestleMania it was going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, it couldn't have been more perfect. But the match itself wasn't the best. It wasn't exact. It was a serviceable match. Okay, that's what I would say. But if you have AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in the same ring, that's just not acceptable, in my opinion. You need to. I'm not expecting their match at Wrestle Kingdom 10 That's not what I'm expecting, but I'm expecting some effort from WWE. Like, please give us a damn good match. This is two of the most talented people on your freaking roster, and you're not giving them their time to shine. You're basically clipping their wings at this point. So that's pretty disgraceful. Disgraceful and discouraging at this point. And of course AJ Styles, of course Shinsuke Nakamura turned heel. That's when he turned heel, and so that was I think the interesting point here. I think that's kind of I get it. They were trying to advance the story and get a few more matches out of this feud. It was a great idea on paper, but they just did not do it justice. They really didn't, and that really, really disappointed me, and I was very sad that they did that. So, that's all I really got to say. But all I can hope is that WWE learned from their mistakes 2 years ago, and they actually give us a damn good match. I'll give them this. Their match at Money in the Bank wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. I'll give them that. But it's not WrestleMania, okay? That's the match that should have happened at Mania. But instead, and honestly, I would have put the title on Nakamura. But, of course, he's a foreigner, and Vince McMahon doesn't like anyone who isn't 6'5" and giant muscles, or he isn't white, Anyway, there's so much we can talk about Vince McMahon at this point, right? All I can say is I do hope that Styles Nakamura 4 or 5, I think, is really good. I just want it to be a good match. Just let those two, give them 15 minutes and let them go. Just let them do what they got to do. These two are professionals. They know what the hell they're doing. They have so much history from New Japan and even over here. Let them do them. Just stop controlling what they're doing. Just even if you don't want Shinsuke Nakamura to win the match, that's okay. Just make sure he goes out like a damn warrior. Honestly, I would at this point turn Nakamura face because they really have done everything they can with him. Sami Zayn is not coming to work. Cesaro's doing his own thing. Just let Nakamura do his own thing. I would not mind Cesaro versus Nakamura. That would be great. Speaking of which, where the hell is Cesaro in this tournament? How the hell do you have this tournament and not have Cesaro in it? That makes no sense whatsoever. Instead, you have freaking Baron freaking Corbin in here. This is absolutely ridiculous. Why is freaking Shinsuke? Why is the hell is Cesaro not on this damn tournament? And why is he stuck at catering? This is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. Look, like I said, I know Bryan versus Gulak. I'm sure they wrestled a good match. I didn't watch SmackDown, but I'm sure they did. Elias and Corbin, I don't know. I don't care. That's really all I gotta say about that. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus should be a good match. It's a classic big guy versus little guy kind of match. So that should be cool. Styles versus Nakamura. Please give us a good match. Don't just give us a serviceable match. Give us a freaking good match. Capital G, capital O, capital D. That's what I want. That sounded really bad when I said capital D. Anyway, get your mind out of the gutter, Sid. Sorry. Anyway, but that's kind of all I wanted to say about that. That's pretty much it. But let's move on to this week's shows. And let's begin with AEW. That's right. So we begin AEW. I actually took notes this time, so I'm not looking on the website. I'm looking at my notes. But we begin AEW with a Lance Archer and Jake Roberts promo. Lance was beating somebody up as they were walking down into the ring. Jake Roberts gets on the mic, cuts a very interesting promo. He basically, and it's a very sexist promo actually, because he first of all refuses to apologize for humping a snake on Brandy Rhodes last week, and I'm sorry, but that's what he did. And then he basically says that women should be at home and cook and clean, and they need to make sure that I've been watching Lance Archer wrestle so that I am excited. So you're telling me that Jake Roberts has the hots for for Lance Archer. That's why they're partnering up in this whole time. You know, I get it. They're trying to do this whole Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar dynamic, but come on, dude. This was a weird ass promo. You basically said that Lance Archer wrestling turns you on. Like it literally, you down there, you got your own little pet snake growing down there. If you see Lance Archer wrestle, that's very very dicey promo by Jake the Snake Roberts. Like I mean, he's great on the mic. I'm not saying no, but oh man, this promo was, like I said, yeah, that's the best way I can put it. It was dicey. It's a bit dicey. Anyway, but luckily, this he's interrupted by Cody, who is driving his Black Ops Ford F-150, which is the truck that MJF apparently really liked. Remember? Excuse me. During their feud, Cody said these are the keys to my Black Ops, and I think only like 750 of those are made in the world. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of American Badass Undertaker, where he, you'd come in with the motorcycle and whatnot. But he just literally just drove 4 feet just to bash into a little barricade thing. I mean, would have been more badass, as my friends at Armbar Audio said, would have been more badass if they, if he just freaking drove through the damn barricade and into the ring in the F-150. I hope they save that for Double or Nothing. Like, I would not mind. Just let him freaking ride into the arena in that Ford F-150. That would be so badass. I would love it. But anyway, again, some glimpses of American Badass Taker here. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, I just kind of felt like that. Hey, American Nightmare, American Badass. One's a nightmare, one's a badass, but they're both American, so hey, I guess it makes sense. Anyway, but Archer and Cody do get into a brawl as Roberts is continuing to berate Cody for some reason. I don't know why. But Cody seems to be getting the upper hand. He's about to hit the cutter, but Roberts just pulls Archer away and says, "Not now," to Archer, and just completely just cuddles and fondles him because, he gets hard every time he sees Lance Archer fight. Anyway, so that is the end of that. Let's move on. This is our first match of the evening. Jurassic Express taking on the Best Friends. Really good match. Very competitive bout between the two teams. Orange Cassidy, and this was good. I liked it. I mean, both guys, they know what they're doing. So it's of course Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, and Jurassic Express is of course represented by Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who I don't know if he still found his tail yet. If you watch BTE, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so this was all well and good until Orange Cassidy was ready to get into the ring. And then Phoenix out of nowhere just comes in and beats the shit out of Orange Cassidy. And then MJF joins in the fray and attacks Jungle Boy, throws him back in the ring for allowing Chuck T to hit the awful waffle to finally win this match. So, and of course it was later announced that the Best Friends would be taking on Private Party at Double or Nothing to see who challenges next for the AEW Tag Team titles. I don't know if they're ever going to challenge for the Tag Team titles because Adam Page is too busy drinking in the woods, so we'll see. But next up, we have a women's four-way match. Penelope Ford taking on Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida. Pretty good match. Very, very good match, actually. I liked this one a lot. When I went back and thought about it, I was like, damn, this was good. It was a tad bit slow in the beginning, but they quickly picked up the pace. So, Ford and Shida had a really good sequence, but it was interrupted by Kip Sabian holding Shida on the apron for Ford to attack, but she misses, and she lands into the arms of Kip Sabian, who they start making out, and Jim Ross was saying, "Get a room." That was fun. But Shida attacks Ford. This makes Kip Sabian, this takes Kip Sabian out of contention in this match. Well, not contention, just out of the match, kind of. Just out. He's taken out by Shida because thanks to using Penelope Ford as a weapon, basically. So Baker and Statlander spill onto the outside. where Baker basically just continues to apply the lockjaw with a gloved hand, nonetheless, onto Statlander while Shida hits a backbreaker on Ford and wins the match. And now it is also we also learned that Nyla Rose versus Shida for the AEW Women's title is happening at Double or Nothing, and it is going to be a no holds. It's going to be a straight fight. It's going to be like a no DQ match because during an interview with Shida, what's her name? Nyla Rose comes in and says, "Congratulations, I just came to give you something back." And she got her kendo stick, hit her across the head, and says, "I got your kendo stick, bitch." That was cool. I like that. That's awesome. I like Nyla Rose's character. She plays like the tough guy really well. But I'm rooting for my girl Shida all the way. I think she needs to win. I like Nyla Rose. Don't get me wrong. She's a very talented wrestler, but it's far overdue for Shida to win this title. So I'm rooting for Shida on this. So that's just my thing. But anyway, we have the next match, a tag team match. We have Santana and Ortiz taking on Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy, a tag team that I thought I'd never thought I'd see. But once I got it, I'm like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I got all the drinks today, don't I? Anyway, but this was a very good match as well. I really enjoyed it. Not as chaotic as the street fight, but it had a more of a serious tone and a little bit more competitive, and it showed that all four men and what they're capable of in the ring. So, very good exhibition of talent between all four. And yes, Matt Hardy is getting old, but he's still damn good. Him and Chris Jericho, man, those two are two amazing athletes. So, please just give them their due. Anyway, but Sammy Guevara early, Hardy has Ortiz in a butterfly submission, but Sammy Guevara in a neck brace comes in with a chair, but is quickly taken out with a twist of fate by Matt Hardy. Although he can't call it the twist of fate anymore because that's what Jeff Hardy's calling it, and Jeff Hardy's still using it in WWE. I don't know what they're going to call it. Maybe the twist of Damascus. I don't know. That'd be fine, actually. That sounds cool, So Matt Hardy, hit me up. You want to use that name, just we'll hit me up, and we'll discuss copyrights and trademarks and all that good stuff, Anyway, that's not going to happen. But, yeah, maybe twist of fate by Matt, and then Omega and Matt hit a double team on the top rope, and then Matt hits a side effect onto Ortiz to win the match. They did all this to Ortiz. Fantastic match here. I want to see more Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy teaming up to face off against other tag teams. That would be really cool. I want to see that, for sure. And also, I would love to see Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin at some point. Like Damascus versus Darby Allin. That would be really cool. Anyway, next up we had MJF squashing Lee Johnson, and then he gets on the microphone and cuts a promo on Jungle Boy, and basically he says that he's a little stiff and that he needs a warm-up match. So he's going to take on Marco Stunt next week. Marco Stunt has effectively become the Kenny of AEW, like Kenny from South Park, not Kenny Omega, but no, Kenny from South Park. Like the, oh my God, you killed Kenny, you bastard. That Kenny, how he keeps coming, how he dies in every episode that he comes back. That's basically Marco Stunt. He's the Kenny of AEW. So, I mean, all right. So up next we do have Christopher Jericho. But both, in the last two matches, we have a person named Christopher in both of these matches. So there's that. Oh my God! Excuse me. Hold on, I need a sip of water. Sorry. Alright, that's good. Okay, so Jericho are coming with the Inner Circle. Sammy, Santana, and Ortiz are still battered from the interaction with the Elite, and with Kenny and Matt Hardy, that is. And then Pete, Pineapple Pete, aka Shug D, of course, he comes in and he goes to town on Jericho for at least a good 10 to 15 seconds until Jericho basically just stops him in his tracks with a Judas effect, pins him, and then he cuts a promo on the Elite, and he challenges them to the first ever Stadium Stampede. I wonder what that could entail at Double or Nothing. Vanguard 1 with the Inner Circle t-shirt comes in and basically says that they accept, and he's like, and he also pulls the t-shirt away, says that he was going to call, he had a warrant out for Vanguard 1's arrest for grand larceny. That's only Chris Jericho, right? And he said, I hope you've been thinking about joining the Inner Circle. He says, have you given some thought about joining the Inner Circle? He's like, well, it doesn't matter. Your offer's been rescinded. We already have a 6th member. And he has this baseball bat, and he calls it Floyd. And he smashes Vanguard 1. And Matt Hardy comes in, or Damascus comes in, and cradles the battered... and they all just gang up and kill Vanguard 1. And Matt Hardy comes in, battered and bruised Vanguard 1 in his hands, and he is not happy. Vanguard 1, thank you for all the memories and all the fun and love that you've shown the wrestling industry. Your contributions will never be forgotten. We miss you, and rest in peace. And very, very much sending out my thoughts and prayers to the Hardy family, including Brother Nero, of course. And this is a sad day. Hardy is out for blood. I think he's going to murder Chris Jericho at the Stadium Stampede, which, by the way, I would love for this to be like a cinematic match. That I want that. I think that would be really, really cool. So I hope that happens, but I think they're literally just going to brawl at a stadium, which is fine too. I mean, might as well. No one's coming to the stadiums anyway these days, so I might as well just use it as a place to fight. So hey, whatever. But I really, really hope that we see. I really hope that this is a cinematic style match, because I think you can do a lot at like a football stadium. Whether you go, going inside the stadium, out into the field, you can do so much. Going into the locker rooms, I think there's a lot that can be done. And of course, Matt Hardy is amazing when it comes to these cinematic style matches. All the deleter decay, final deletion, ultimate deletion, tag team apocalypto. All those things are just fantastic examples of what Matt Hardy can do in a cinematic setting. So yeah, I mean, WWE, only now did they really start, they've been doing it for a while, but only now did they really start ramping up on the cinematic matches. Like, I think so far at Mania, nights 1 and 2, there's been a cinematic match. Money in the Bank, the ladder match was a cinematic match. I think that's what they're going to do every pay-per-view now, for at least WWE. Every pay-per-view, the main event's going to be like a cinematic match. So that should be interesting. But anyway, so let's go ahead and move on. But again, rest in peace, Vanguard 1. I do hope he gets avenged. I do hope that Damascus just beats Jericho within an inch of his life for what he did, because that's what he deserves, because he's a criminal, he's a murderer, as is the entirety of the Inner Circle. Anyway, so we finally get our main event. It is Christopher Daniels versus Mr. Brody Lee. If you remember, he did usurp he kind of just snatched away the AEW title from Jon Moxley. So this was a decent match, not too bad. Daniels did put up a bit of a fight, but it was Brody Lee at the end with a discus clothesline. But while Lee is celebrating, Moxley does come in. He is going to face off against 10 next week, so that's going to be cool. But Lee and 10 do get the hell out of Dodge, but the minions are still in his way. Mox makes quick work of them and gets on the mic and is not happy at all. I mean, the guy just stole your freaking belt. Of course you wouldn't be happy. And, he basically just makes it a point to say that he's going to pay for what he did, and that there's going to be a hailstorm of violence at Double or Nothing. I'm looking forward to this. I cannot wait for this match. I do hope that this is a no-holds-barred type of match. Oh my god, excuse me, as well. I know, 2 no DQ matches on a pay-per-view. It's fine. It's no big deal. I would be okay with it. I want to see this. So, with that being said, that concludes AEW, and now we move on to NXT. Alright. NXT was a pretty decent show this week. I liked it. Let me get a drink of water. Ugh, what my whistle, right? We have Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher taking on Imperium for the NXT Tag Team titles. That's how we start off. Thatcher in the beginning, he's just kind of like still. You can tell he's getting sick and tired of Riddle's antics. This plays into something later on, obviously. 4 technicians in the ring, so a lot of mat wrestling. Riddle tried to tag in Thatcher while Barthel was holding on. So Riddle did monkey flip Barthel onto Thatcher, and this pissed him off, and he just left. He just like, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm done with this. Screw this. And he just goes off into the back. Riddle does try his best, but Imperium do hit the European Bomb to win the match. And now we have a new tag team champions. And hold on one sec. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, that was mine. Someone was saying something. But Riddle is left to fight alone. Yeah, and then after this, Riddle and Thatcher do engage in a pull-apart brawl. And this is not the last we will see of Riddle and Thatcher this evening. So we'll get back to them. But for now, let's move on to the women's division. We have Tegan Nox taking on Indy Hartwell. Nox is cosplaying as Captain Marvel. I guess she's taken upon the mantle of dressing as Marvel heroes after Johnny Gargano turned heel. So that's cool. But Hartwell does have the advantage early on. But after a choke slam, it's all Tegan. She finally puts away Hartwell with a Shining Wizard. Not a bad match. Nothing to write home about. It was fine. I guess it's just a match for Tegan Nox just to get her momentum back. So that was cool. I liked it. Then after that, Rhea Ripley cut a badass promo on Io Shirai and Charlotte Flair. Io and Rhea will go head-to-head next week. That should be cool. I'm very, very excited for that. Then afterwards, we see William Regal on a Zoom call with Matt Riddle, or a Skype call, whatever. And he basically says that there's a singles match that with Timothy Thatcher. Matt Riddle grants a singles match with Timothy Thatcher later on. It's the main event, so yeah, that's going to be cool. And Thatcher did attack Riddle after the fact, I guess, cementing his heel turn, I guess, in a way. Oh my god. Oh shit, that was a good one. Excuse me. Oh my god, that's not professional at all. Forgive me. Anyway, let's move on to the cruiserweights. We have Tony Nese taking on Jake Atlas. A lot of mat wrestling and Rest Hold City in the beginning, and this quickly transforms into a fast-paced affair. Both men are evenly matched. Nese then continues to play the bully. He's actually not eligible to be in the final, so he's basically just playing spoiler at this point. But Atlas finally does hit a rainbow DDT to put away Nese and advance in the tournament with a score of 2-1. So good job, Jake Atlas. I'm really liking Jake Atlas. It's really he's a competitor to look out for. Whether he wins this tournament or not, he is a man that we need to all be watching. So then we have Undisputed Era on a Skype/Zoom call, and they talk about Dexter Lumis. And they all vote for Roderick Strong to take on Dexter Lumis next week. R.I.P. Roderick Strong. Then Karrion Kross cuts an imposing promo on Tommaso Ciampa and basically puts the entire locker room on notice. But I do firmly believe that Tommaso Ciampa is his first opponent. He's the first person he's going to feud with. So that should be an interesting match. And then we have a promo from DX, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Road Dogg are there, and they announce NXT TakeOver in your house. That's right, because it's in your house, not my house, in your house, because you're going to be watching it on pay-per-view on the WWE Network. No one's allowed in the arena, obviously, so it's going to be in your house, not my house, your house, your house, not mine. You get it? It's your house. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm doing that. But yeah, this is cool. I'm excited. So that's why I guess we're building up all these different matches. Like I said, I already have. I think they already have a card ready for this for Takeover. I'm guessing it's gonna be Rhea versus Io versus Charlotte for the women's championship. That should be a good match, actually. I know a lot of people hate on Charlotte, and I understand. I understand why people hate on Charlotte. She's everywhere at this point. But yeah, people do forget that she is extremely talented as a wrestler. So, but there's that. I personally don't have issues with Charlotte Flair. But yeah, if they could stop giving her the Roman Reigns-esque push or the John Cena-esque push, that would be great, okay? Please and thank you. Anyway, but that's not going to happen because Charlotte Flair has the biggest boobs on the land. But moving on, we then have Finn Balor taking on Cameron Grimes. Awesome match. Really, really like this match a lot. A lot of fast-paced action right off the bat. A lot of high-impact strikes by both men. Balor did seemingly have the match won, but Damian Priest comes out with his trusty little nightstick and attacks Balor with it, allowing Cameron Grimes to take advantage. He hits the cave-in to win the match, and after the fact, Damian Priest brings in a chair and chokes and hits Balor with a reckoning onto the chair, chokes Balor with the chair, basically says that he attacked Balor. It was me, Balor. It was me all along. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little tired. I had a big lunch, so I'm trying to just keep myself awake at this point. So anyway, but this is cool. So it looks like we're getting Balor versus Priest at TakeOver. So that should be a fantastic match. We now have Jack Gallagher versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. More onto this, more cruiserweight action. As Scott is making his way into the ring, Tony Nese attacks Scott before the match because Scott basically said that I actually have won matches unlike some people here. He's obviously talking about Gallagher and Nese, so basically Tony Nese did take exception to that and attacked him and said, "Keep my name out of your mouth." I'm smelling a feud between the two. Perhaps this is going to be at the TakeOver as well. So yeah, but good match. Not great, but a good match. Gallagher did get the advantage early on, and a lot of catch wrestling in Rest Hold City by Jack. Isaiah Scott tried to hit the house call a bit early on, but Gallagher did catch him out of midair and later hit a submission, which Scott did escape, but Gallagher finally hit the spinning elbow strike on Scott to win the match. So Isaiah Swerve Scott is effectively out of the tournament. He also will just be playing spoiler, so that should be pretty interesting to see how that goes. Next up, we have Kaden Carter versus Aaliyah. I don't care, because who cares about Aaliyah? Aaliyah is dominant for the most part. Robert Stone is watching Aaliyah, and this distracts Aaliyah by giving Carter, and then Carter puts Aaliyah away in a submission. Robert Stone leaves disappointed. Yes, good. Who gives a shit about Aaliyah? Nobody. Okay? Nobody cares about Aaliyah. If you do, great, but nobody else does. Maybe there's like 2 of you. But no, who cares? Anyway. We have Dinner with the Garganos next. First of all, I want more of these because I love how when they're both so lovey-dovey, there's like some nice piano music and they're just so happy with each other. But then they just get super intense, just really in your face, and it gets black and white, and there's that weird camera effect where it's like a kind of a delay effect, if you will. It's pretty cool. It's really cool and kind of creepy at the same time. It's almost like they have 2 different personalities. This couple, this twisted couple. NXT has made them psychotic. They're psychos. They're psychos. Okay. But yeah, Johnny Gargano is calling out Keith Lee and Candice LeRae is calling out Mia Yim. Very, very apropos as those 2 are a couple as well. Are we going to get a mixed tag team match at some point between these 2 couples? Who knows? And maybe, perhaps, this will make Gargano enter into the North American title picture against Keith Lee. Now, I will say this. I'm excited that this is a match. Excuse me. I'm glad this is going to be a match, but Keith Lee should retain because there's only a few people that I want Keith Lee to drop the title to, and those people are Matt Riddle, Karrion Kross, or Finn Balor. Those are the only people that I want I want to take the North American title off of Lee. Nobody else, understand? Nobody. Okay? Maybe Tommaso Ciampa, but no. Just those three for now. That's fine. Dominic Dijakovic couldn't do it, so that's whatever. But the whole crux of this whole point of this is that Gargano beat Dominic Dijakovic, so he says Keith Lee beat him. So what does that say about Keith Lee? That he's not basking in and they make fun of they made fun of my boy's theme song. That's messed up. Okay, just for that, I want Keith Lee to murder Johnny Gargano at Takeover. I'm kidding. Well, not really, kind of, but it's pretty cool that that's there. Like I said, there's only 3 people I want to take the title off of Johnny Gargano or Timothy Thatcher. So 4 people. So Thatcher, Karrion Kross, Finn Balor, or Matt Riddle. Just these 4 guys. That's it. No one else. Okay? But I'm sure this is going to be a good match, though. Like, both of these guys are extremely fast, and they'll just make some magic in the ring. So I'll be excited to see it. And Johnny Gargano, I really hope he wears a Marvel villain cosplay. That would be cool. Anyway, we now get to our main event. Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher. This is a textbook match. I loved everything about it. Thatcher's music kind of reminds me of Dan Severin's music. So, and it makes sense. Both these men you don't want to freaking mess with. So there's that. But anyway, Riddle kind of skips his antics as his entrance comes in. And he just comes in, kicks off his flip-flop when the match begins. A lot of mat wrestling between these 2 men again. Thatcher caught Riddle in a Fujiwara armbar. And he escapes, and Matt Riddle's like, "You're not my bro." This allows Thatcher to catch him in the armbar once again. But he escaped, and then... But this allows Riddle to roll up Thatcher to finally win this match. I'm not giving too many spots away just because I want you all to watch these matches. So, yeah. But Thatcher finally does attack Riddle, puts him back in that armbar to win the match, really cementing his heel turn. I'm guessing this is going to be a match at TakeOver as well. I kind of hope it's no holds barred because I think this feud kind of deserves it at this point. So, with that in mind, this concludes my review. Overall, I thought both shows were great. I felt AEW was a little bit more exciting, although the announcement of TakeOver in Your House does have me intrigued. I guess finally they caught on. I guess NXT finally just started to catch on and say, "Oh, hey, we can do empty arena pay-per-views, can't we? I mean, we did it for main roster. Let's do it for NXT, right?" Anyway, but yeah, that's hold on. Sorry, yeah, I'm turning that off. So that was my but I did like a lot of these matches. So as far as matches of the night, matches of the night for AEW, the Matt Hardy and Kenny versus Proud and Powerful, as well as Britt Baker versus Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. Great match there on NXT. I'd say that the tag match between Riddle and Thatcher versus Imperium, as well as Riddle versus Thatcher itself. Actually, no, not Riddle and Thatcher. No. The Jake Atlas versus Tony Nese. I'll give it to them this week. So those were my matches of the night. Overall, both shows, like I said, were great, but I would say AEW just inches out NXT this week for me. But let me know what you guys thought about these shows in the comment section below and whatnot. What were some of your favorite matches? And I hope you guys kind of like this kind of new setup that I have. If you have any other maybe ideas on the setup, I mean, this is just my background. I just like this background, so I'm using it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh yeah, check out Armbar Nerds. We got a new podcast coming out this coming Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. If you haven't listened to our first one, definitely check the links in the description. Definitely check the links in the description. Check out our YouTube. Check out we're on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and many other platforms. So please check us out. Really, really appreciate that and whatnot. But until then, thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.